everybody, I'm Tom Vassell, and welcome to the 12 Games of Christmas, where we talk about 12 games that we think are excellent games for you this Christmas season to buy for yourself or other people. We're just trying to give you ideas here. Today we're talking about two-player games, and we want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, Above Board TV. The Above Board TV YouTube channel has done some really crazy stuff. They've played games with sharks. They are underwater, surrounded by sharks. They played a game on an active volcano. And now they've played a game while covered in bees. And in fact, we have a link to that video below in the description of this video. And you want to go to that video and you want to comment on that video, because then you can be entered into a contest to win one of 10 games shipped to the continental US from Amazon that are $50 or less, or a grand prize winner will get a trip to the Above Board Studios in LA for 2 days and 3 nights, and you get to be part of one of their videos. So check out this comedy YouTube channel, and hopefully the video you're part in is not covered with bees or spiders. That'd be worse. Anyway, talking about board games here, we're talking about two-player games now. Now, these games might not be just for 2 players, but we know that these are excellent games that if you have one other person that you regularly play games with, here are some games you should get. Let's get started.
First up, we've got Canopy. Canopy is a lovely game in which you are building up a forest and you are putting out trees, putting out animals. They're going to give you specific things and avoiding bad things like fires and famine, that sort of thing. The game has a draft mechanism in which you are going to be looking at a card or 2 or 3 face down. And if you don't like what that is, you put them back face down, you add a card to that pile, making it juicier for the other player, and you move on to the next stack, take a peek at that. Hey, maybe you like those, you keep that stuff, replenish where you took from with a singular card. And so you're doing this back and forth, building and building and building things up until it's juicy enough to take. There are negative cards, so that's the trick. When are enough good cards make it worthwhile to take a negative card? Really lovely, very gorgeous artwork, and a nice back and forth in Canopy.
Bog is a really small little game that works really well with 2-player games. If you like abstract strategy games, think chess or checkers. This game, designed by Chris Handy and from Perplex Games, is the size of a pack of gum and is about frogs. All you have to do in this game is move frogs around. Each frog has a different pattern that you will move them on. They move around these lily pads in the middle. There's a 3x3 grid of lily pads out there. And you are trying to eat the other person's frogs. You are trying to get frogs in different positions to score points. But if you ever get into a position where you can't play, you lose. But if you do win the game, then whoever's got the most points is the winner. So it's really interesting back and forth. And we're also talking 5-minute, 10-minute games that could get a little bit longer as you find the strategy and depth to this game. When I first pulled this out, I was not expecting this to be something that impressive, and it was. This small little game is a lot of fun, and it works really well for 2 players, and hey, you can carry it in a pocket. That's Bog.
Next up is Boop the Halls. Now, this is the holiday variation of the popular 2-player game, Boop. And Boop is an adorable abstract game where players place kittens on a game board that looks like a bed. And when they place them, they bounce the opposing kittens away. Now, if you get 3 kittens in a row, you get a cat, and 3 cats in a row, and you win. In Boop the Halls, though, the game board bed is replaced with a 3-tiered Christmas tree and incorporates ornaments, meaning you can win naughty style by booping 3 of your opponent's ornaments off the tree, or do it the nice way by lining up your kittens. Ho, ho, meow.
If you like clever card games, then for 2 players, check out Chu Han. This is a card shedding game where you have a hand of cards, you're trying to play them out and empty your hand first so that you can gain points equal to whatever your opponent has left over for you. And it's a very, very tense little game, as there are just a few special power cards that have a lot going on, but for the most part, you're trying to just play stronger sets, kind of a ladder climbing game or a shedding game, if you will. I think that this one has a neat theme to it, and it even has a little bit of a historical scenario book that you can play, or you can just play the straightforward regular game. Nice production. I'm very charmed by this one. I find it to be very fun, especially if you like that kind of back and forth in a 2-player game, but you also love card play. So check out Chu Han. This one's from Madigo Games.
And next up in our two-player category is going to be Kinfire Delve. Now, it should be noted that Kinfire Delve is 1 to 4 players, but I really, really love it at 2 players. I think that's where it sings because you have cooperation and you have to discuss a lot of what's going on and really plan together with what's in your hand, and you have those boost actions you can play off each other, so it takes advantage of that, but yet it keeps the gameplay quick and snappy at the same time. If you know someone who loves dungeon crawlers but really wants a scaled down experience, a smaller table presence next to no setup time, but still versatility and variability in not only the players but also the bosses they're going up against, Kinfire Delve checks all those boxes. Absolutely check it out for them this year.
Next up, we have Harrow County. Harrow County is a 2-player asymmetric game, meaning that each player is having completely different goals that they need to win than the other player. What's really unique about this game, beyond the gameplay, which is very, very interesting and clever, is that it's based on a gothic horror comic book series called Harrow County. And this game really evokes that gothic horror feel to it. It's got a very cool component, which is this cube tower that you drop that's in a tree. So it looks like a tree, but it's a cube tower, and that has a lot of thematic connection to the comics. If you know somebody who likes board games and who likes this comic, it's a no-brainer. But it also could go beyond that. If you know someone that likes horror comics at all and likes board games, this would be a really solid idea, a very unique take on 2-player strategy games. That is Harrow County.
And next up for our 2-player game, we have a dueling game, and this is King of Tokyo Duel. Now, King of Tokyo is a game we all love. It's that King of the Hill type of stand. King of Tokyo Duel is not necessarily that. It's more of this push and pull tug of war. There's multiple ways to win in it. Or are you going for that just hard, beat down strategy on your opponent? Lots of ways to win, lots of flexibility. If you're familiar with the old characters, you're going to see them in this, and there's that compatibility. But it is a different game and a different feeling game and more of a tug-of-war battle push-pull. So this is kind of a marriage of those two things. If you know someone that likes either of those things, the old game, or really likes those push and pull tug-of-war games, check out King of Tokyo Duel for them.
The next 2-player game we're talking about is Lord of the Rings Duel. This is going to quickly become my favorite 2-player game, I think. I like a lot of duel games, a lot of 2-player games, but this one just stands out. The whole thing is, you're fighting for Middle-earth as either the Fellowship or Sauron. You're battling for the fate of Middle-earth. But the whole thing is the win conditions can be different. You can go for area control if you want to and try to control all the areas or have the most areas at the end. You can also get all the other races to join your side, and you can win that way. Or what's my favorite part is they have these acrylics, Frodo and Sam trying to throw the ring into Mount Doom, or you're the Nazgul that are chasing them and trying to get the ring. So if you're the Nazgul and you catch up to them and get the ring, then you win. Or if you're Frodo and Sam and you finally drop that ring into Mount Doom, you win. That's theme, man. That is theme. And it looks so cool. That is the aesthetics of that. As you watch, they inch closer and closer and closer. The artwork in here is incredible. This game just blew me away first time I played it. So this is Lord of the Rings Duel.
Match of the Century is next on our 2-player list, and I love that this is a chess-themed game without actually being a chess game. So you're playing as 2 of the great chess champions in history, trying to become the ultimate champion. And in this, you're playing multiple chess matches, but you're doing it by playing cards. And so the card play is very interesting as you're just trying to beat numbers, but they have special abilities and they actually flip over between matches so that you change the strength and the value and the way that your cards work between each match. So it can make things better, it can make things worse for you. So this game has some interesting, really good 2-player stuff going on. Plus, I like the way that theme is tied in without being too abstract chessy for me. So there you go, that's Match of the Century. If that sounds interesting to you, check that one out.
Welcome back to Above Board Studios. My name is Travis, and our next game is Sky Team, which is a 2-player cooperative dice placement game, one of my favorite kinds. Pilot and co-pilot roll their dice behind screens, and one at a time, in silence, which is important, they take turns placing their dice. Dice controls all aspects of the plane: speed, attitude, flaps, landing gear, radio communications, drink service, I would imagine. Some dice work in tandem. One die from each player together controls the speed and similarly the tilt of the plane. Tilt is very important in a plane, you'll find out in Sky Team. Land at the airport with everything in order to win. Fail to get to the airport, or when you hit the ground, you over tilt and, well, you lose. The plane goes bim boom. Sky Team comes with multiple airports and lots of modular challenges such as interns, iced wings, and wind. Because, you know, wind. It's a big aspect of flying a plane is wind and air and drink service. Drink service is a big part of me flying.
Okay, my next game is kind of a guilty pleasure because I'm not a huge fan of CCGs. They're fine. I played Magic, Lorcana, all of those. They're fine. But this one, I really, really enjoy. This is Star Wars Unlimited. It is a CCG, but what I like about it is several things that I think makes it stand apart. Is number one, the resources are just your cards played face down. So it's a tough decision on, do I keep this card or do I play it face down as a resource just to kind of power up quicker, knowing that I might not get that card back. So I love that. I also love how fast it is. It's going back and forth, back and forth. It's really quick, and I love the theme in this game because you create the decks to do a certain theme. Like, for instance, we have a Mandalorian deck that we play through. And then also you may have a smuggling deck. And smugglers are really cool because they can smuggle in resources and you can pull things out of there. There's so much that goes to this. And then that's not even talking about the leaders. So you will have a leader, and later in the game, you can pull that leader out. A leader like a big boy like the Emperor or Luke or whatever. And you can pull him out, and it feels so good to say, look at this, my leader has entered the game. So anyway, that is Star Wars Unlimited. Definitely check that out.
Tether is a two-player game from How to Stream Broccoli. This is a game in which one person is columns and one person is rows. It has some really gorgeous kind of retro space artwork where everyone is being tethered together, and you are playing numbers next to each other. 57 goes next to 56, 45 goes next to 47. But one person's playing the numbers in columns and the other person is playing them in rows, and you're trying to build shapes, grids of cards, and when the grid is built, then the length of it, the width of it is going to score points for one player, the length will score points for the other player. So you're constantly trying to build these grids, and then the grids connect to each other. So if you're a fan of Rummy Cube, that has some vibes of that to this game, and just collecting cards and playing them. If you like Racco, this might be one that you enjoy. But it's a nice two-player game, and at the end of the game, the board will be covered in cards. You'll have all these things, and it's like a neat picture with all the different cool art of all these people tethered together, but also a fast and fun game of playing these games in rows and columns. A simple game that's basically just a deck of cards, but one that I find to be a lot of fun. That's Tether. And that's it for our two-player games. You have a special somebody? Here's a great gift for you to get. Get all 12 of them, or just get a couple of them. We tried to make sure that all the games that we put on these lists are available online. We do our best, although that can go in and out each day. But hopefully this gives you some good ideas that you can go get for somebody so that they can play a game with you, or maybe with someone else. Two-player games. Thanks for watching our 12 Games of Christmas. I'm Tom Vassell. Thank you, Above Board TV, for sponsoring this show. We'll see you all next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you, and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.